Hey everybody, I'm Zach, this is schmerkadabur, and welcome to Slay the Spire. I'm really stoked to play this game, because I've already played it a ton. I bought it, and I was like, let's test it out and see how it is, see if I want to do it on the channel. It looks awesome, it's gotten great reviews, it's in early access, so, you know, hum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum, not a complete game. You all know about that stuff. But this is a roguelike deck building JRPG combat style game, and I love all that stuff, man. I love it all. I love the random nature of roguelikes. You know how I feel about RPGs. They're my favorite games, and I played my share of Magic the Gathering back in my day, back in the days of like 4th edition and Ice Age. Yeah, CCGs, man. I did that. So this is Slay the Spire, and we're gonna play it. I've already played it for, I know this game is great because I picked it up, I thought I'd test it out, and I've played it now for like 10 hours. Like, I played the crap out of it. But I reset the whole thing, so we can start from the very beginning. I hope you enjoy. Join me for Slay the Spire. Thank you. Let's get started. We're gonna press play, and there's only one character unlocked right now, the Ironclad. The remaining soldier of the Ironclad sold his soul to harness demonic energies, and he starts with a relic called Burning Blood, which means at the end of each combat we heal 6 hit points. We start with 80 hit points and 99 gold. We have 6 things to unlock, which you get points to unlock at the end of each run, and we've got 300 points. If we get 300 points this run, then we make our first unlock. So let's go ahead and get started and see how we do here. I'm really excited to share this because this game is rad. Now we get this map kind of FTL style, and you can see there's all kinds of different icons. So we've got standard combat, like random encounter, which could also be combat, shops, mini bosses or like elite enemies, camps where you get to heal, or you can also upgrade cards in your deck while you camp, treasure, of course. There's always a whole line of treasure on every stage where you're guaranteed to get a relic. And then the final boss, this giant thing up here. So we also have potion slots up here. Potions are one-time use items. We can look at our map, we can look at our deck. You can see we've got 5 strikes, 4 defense, and then a thing called bash, and we'll get into that when we get into combat. So we want to choose where to start, and by doing combat you get a free card every turn. Not every turn. Every combat you finish, you get a card to add to your deck. You don't have to add a card to your deck if you don't want to. But we definitely want to have enough combat, and we'd like to go to a shop as well if we can. This shop would be ideal because we start with 99 gold, and that's enough to do some good stuff. But the more fights we do, the more money we make, the more we'll have to spend at that shop when we get there. So we want to come up this way. Either hit the mini boss or the camp, depending on our HP needs. Come through here, camp, treasure, shop. Camp, yeah, the more camps the better as well, because we want to upgrade cards. So both of these are identical essentially. Let's start here. This is the tutorial. You defeat enemies by playing cards. You can play defense and you can play attack and be attacked, but we'll talk about that stuff. So we can see what the bad guys are gonna do here. He will do 11 damage if we don't do anything this turn. So he's gonna attack for 11 points of damage. So to deal with that, we've got 3 energy to spend. We want to spend 1 on defend, another on defend, so we've now got 10 block. And he'll attack, 10 of this 11 will go away, and he'll deal 1 point of damage to us. That leaves us with 1 energy, which will allow us to give this guy a whap. And he's been whapped, ladies and gentlemen. And he's down to 34 health. We're out of energy, and we don't have any cards we can play with only 0 energy. There are lots of cards that only cost 0 energy. But we're going to end our turn and let this guy do his thing. He's going to go, hi-ya! And we took 1 point of damage. So now, this time, he's going to go defensive. He intends to block and use a buff. So we don't have to defend at all this round because he's not going to damage us. So we've got this one card here called Bash. Bash lets us deal 8 damage but applies to vulnerable. And vulnerable, you can see there, vulnerable creatures take 50% more damage from attacks. So if we bash him, then the strike that would ordinarily do 6 damage will instead do 9 damage. So that's definitely what we want to do and bring him down to 17 health. Now he's going to buff. He's going to bellow, and that's going to give him strength and 6 defense. No more cards. Your discard pile is shuffled into the draw pile. Got it. Thank you. So he's going to deal 14 damage now because he buffed his strength. So he's still vulnerable. So our strikes that actually do 6 damage, you can see if we point at him, it changes to 9 damage. So we can actually kill him this round, probably. Maybe not, because he's got 6 defense. So essentially he's got 23 health. And we can only do 18 with strikes. So, that being the case, we're going to defend, and then we're going to strike. And that did 3 damage. He's going to do 4 damage to us. And then we'll activate, hopefully, a whole bunch of strikes next turn. We got 3 strikes. He's buffing anyway, so we just attack him 3 times, and he dies. So that was the first fight. We get 6 health back, 15 gold, and we can choose to add a card to our deck. We've got here Perfected Strike, 6 damage, and plus 2 damage for all of our cards containing strike. I'm not sure if that means cards in your hand or cards in your deck that contain strike. We could also take Sword Boomerang. It deals 3 damage to a random enemy 3 times. Or Clothesline, which deals 12 damage and applies to Weak, which lowers enemy attack power. So we want to take one of these, but we're not sure which. We've got 5 strike cards, so Perfected Strike is going to start at 16 damage, which is really good. But Clothesline is also really good, and something to apply Weak would probably be very helpful for us. But both of these also cost 2, whereas Sword Boomerang only costs 1, does 9 damage, which makes it better than Strike, at least, if nothing else. We're going to go with Perfected Strike, because we've got all the strike cards in our deck. If we can do massive damage, then we're in good shape. All right, he's going to attack for 12 damage. That kind of stinks, because I'd like to do 18. So it must be in your hand. But we're not going to be able to afford to, because we'd want to defend against 10 of that damage, and then we'll just whack him with a strike. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So he deals us 2 damage to us. And now he's going to deal only 7 to us, but he's also going to use a negative effect on us. So this is a really good chance for us to defend, to reduce that to 2 damage, and then bash him to apply that vulnerable for 2 turns. Now his 2 damage is coming, and he's also weakened us. So our attacks are going to do 25% less damage. We've got nothing but defense and strikes, so that's what we're going to do. And make it easier on ourselves. That hand, you know, it's exactly what it is. We can't do that much with it. Now, he's got 26 health. We can do 18 plus 6, which is 24. That's really, really unfortunate. So we're going to defend, and then we could do 2 strikes for 12 damage. We could apply vulnerable with bash, or we could do perfected strike. This 18 damage is going to do the best work for us, because that brings him down to 8 health, and we'll be able to kill him right quick. There's his rake. We take 2 damage, so we're not going to be at max health at the end of this fight, unfortunately. But we can kill him this turn, so we don't have to worry about defending, get our 6 health back, and choose a card. Now, Twin Strike deals 5 damage twice. Sever Soul, exhaust all non-attack cards in your hand, deals 16 damage. This is very cool because it allows you for synergies. There are cards that are like, if you have a skill card in your hand, you can't play this card. So if you Sever Soul, it exhausts that card, which removes it from your deck until the end of combat. And you can exhaust all those cards, and then you can use cards that that say if you have skills or powers in your hand, you can't play this card. Dual Wield is also really good, and this is what we're going to take. It creates a copy of an attacker power card in your hand. Dual Wield allows you to affect a lot of synergies. If you can get a 0-cost card, Dual Wield is amazing. All right, So we went to a random encounter here. We've run into the world of goop. You fall into a puddle. It's made of slime goop. Frantically, you draw yourself out over several minutes as you feel the goop starting to burn. You can feel goop in your ears, goop in your nose, goop everywhere, goop in your butt. Climbing out, you notice that some of your gold is missing. Looking back to the puddle, you see your missing coins combined with gold from unfortunate adventures mixed together in the puddle. So, we can take 11 damage and gain 75 gold, or lose 25 gold and just go. We're going to gain that gold because we plan on hitting a shop up as we go here. Now, we want to give ourselves the option to fight a mini-boss, but chances are we're just going to camp. I'd like to get more cards, though, so we're going to skip this random encounter. We're going to go this way. And these little guys are adorable. Look at them. They're little louses. And they're going to attack for 7 and use a negative effect on me. So if I can kill this guy, that's ideal. And I think I can. Actually, no, I can't, because he's got this curl up ability. And if he takes attack damage, he rolls up and he gains 4 block. So we're gonna be okay with taking 2 damage here, I think. So we're gonna defend, and then we're gonna bash this jerk and make him vulnerable. And that way next turn we'll be able to kill him with just a regular old strike, which we're almost sure to get in our hand. In fact, I think we're pretty much guaranteed it. This guy is going to spit a web at us, and that weakens us, which really stinks. We're going to have to use 2 attacks to kill this guy now. Here's the thing, though. He's attacking for 7. He's going to use a status ailment. Perfected Strike will do 13 damage to him and kill him outright. Bam. So now we're not taking any damage this turn, so we can strike this guy and deal 6 damage because of his vulnerable effect. I really like this game because, like, you gotta think a little bit, and it's very, very easy to make misplays in this game. You can really blow it, and it can cause a lot of problems for you if you do blow it. Okay. We've got Clothesline, which applies weak. We could have gotten that last time, and we didn't. We got Perfected Strike instead. We could use Sword Boomerang, which, again, kind of sucks, or Body Slam. Deal damage equal to your current block. And that's a good card if we block twice in a turn, right now. It's even better if we can get some cards to enable the synergy. Like, there's cards that give you defense every turn for free, things like that. And unfortunately... Really unfortunately, we got 0 defense cards. So we're going to take 12 damage here, and we've got no choice. So let's apply Vulnerable and then a Strike. And he's down to 7 health. But these guys are going to whap us pretty hard, unfortunately. Okay. We've got now 7 health, 23 health. They're both going to use things here. Unfortunately, we've got a lot of defends, so I'm going to use Dual Wield to make a copy of Strike so I can strike twice and kill this guy. Oh, I only needed to strike once, but we'll do extra. I forgot about Vulnerable. See, that's what makes it easy to make misplays, man. You got to do all this arithmetic in your head. We're going to whap him. This is kind of perfect. We're vulnerable for 2 turns, but this guy's not attacking this turn, and hopefully he'll use the same ability next turn. For now, he's going to grow, and that makes him stronger. He's going to do 13 damage now, but we can just kill him. Whap. All right, we're done. Perfected Strike knocks him out. Now, we got a regen potion. That lets us heal during a fight 3 hit points per turn for 5 turns. Okay. We've got Iron Wave. Gain 5 block, deal 5 damage. I like this card. It's not spectacular, but it's a good standard card. I love it. Armaments is also really good. Gain 5 block and upgrade a card in your hand. Dropkick, we do have something that makes people vulnerable. So this deals 5 damage, gives us 1 energy, which is amazing, and then draws 1 card. But if they're vulnerable, and we've only got 1 card that does that, we're gonna take Armaments, because Armaments is pretty darn good in every deck. So we can hit here, 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 here. Yeah, we're gonna upgrade some cards. So when you get to a camp, you can choose to Rest, which heals 30% of your hit points, or you can choose to Smith, which upgrades a card in your deck. And we are going to upgrade armaments. What happens when you upgrade armaments is now, instead of upgrading one card, it upgrades all the cards in your hand, and it does it for the rest of combat. So it makes every card in your hand better every time you draw it, and that's super good. We're gonna go to this fight, get another card. Now this guy's a thief. He's gonna try to steal from us. And this is actually a really, really good start. So we're gonna armaments, and that's gonna upgrade all these cards. So now they all have plus next to their name, and it makes them stronger. Like strikes do 9 instead of 6 damage. Dual wield creates 2 copies instead of 1. Bash does more damage and applies more vulnerable. That also gave us 5 armor. So his attack will only do 5 damage to us now. And we could do 18 damage, or we could do bash and do 10 damage and apply 3 vulnerable, and I think that's a little better. So let's do that. We'll take 5 damage, and that'll be okay. It'll be no problem. Give me your gold, he says. I love the look of these guys too. They're super freaking cute. Okay, he's gonna do 10 damage, but we can do 27 with perfected strike, and then 9 more with strike. So that's enough to kill him. Bam. Bam. And that was an easy fight, dude. We killed him straight dead. We got our money back. We got a strength potion, which gives us +2 strength. And then we've got these cards. True Grit, exhaust a random card in your hand, and gain 7 block. So better than block from a points standpoint, but a random card in your hand goes away for the rest of combat. I don't love that. Blood for Blood costs 4, which means we can't use it until we get hit, because it costs 1 less energy every time you lose hit points in combat. Eventually it will cost 0, and it deals a lot of damage. 16 damage is pretty good. I think we're gonna go with Blood for Blood. It's good even without synergies, but once you get synergies, it's real good. So if we upgrade it as well, it lowers it to 3 and increases the damage. But what do we want to upgrade right now? Body Slam, when upgraded, only costs 0, which makes that quite useful. But we're gonna upgrade... yeah, we're gonna upgrade Body Slam. I actually really like this card when you can get some good defensive synergies, or even just some good defensive cards. Oh, this is good. We got the Peace Pipe. You can now remove cards from your deck at rest sites. So we'll get to another rest site shortly, and we'll be able to use that. Now, we've got this merchant here, and he will sell us cards. He'll also sell us relics, and he'll sell us the ability to remove a card from our deck. And this is a really good ability. Every bad card you get rid of in your deck, or even mediocre card, if you get rid of those, they enable you to draw your good cards sooner and more often. So we're going to remove a card from our deck, definitely. We're going to go ahead and remove a strike, because 1 for 6 damage is not very good, frankly. And then we could buy a card, so Combust is really good with Blood for Blood, because even if you don't take any damage in a turn, you'll lose 1 HP, lower the cost of Blood for Blood, and deal 4 damage to all enemies for your trouble. It's not a great synergy. It's okay, though. The thing that I'm going to get here is, if I were to buy a card, I would get Clash. It costs nothing, but it can only be played if every card in your hand is an attack. This can be enabled pretty easily if you play smart, but I'm going to buy the Happy Flower. Every 3 turns, you get an extra point of energy, which is super, super good, and we're pretty much out of money, so let's move on. Now, we could do a fight, or we could upgrade another card, or we could remove a card by toking. So we want to remove another card. We're going to remove a Defend. No, we're going to remove another Strike. We're getting rid of our regular strikes, and eventually we'll get rid of our perfected strike as well. Now we've got a mini boss. So this is going to be a guy who's he's gonna give us trouble. He's a gremlin knob. What a knob. So he's going to use a buff this turn. He's not going to attack. And we want to do as much damage as we possibly can to him this turn. So we're going to Perfected Strike, and we're going to strike. And this ability that he's going to use is going to suck. It's going to suck for us, like, big time. So he's enraged. Whenever you play a skill, he gains 2 strength. And defend is a skill. So every time you try to defend his attacks, he's going to get stronger. That said, we're going to defend this round. We're going to use armaments to upgrade every card in our hand. We're going to use defend to get 8 more block. That brings us up to 13 block, and that allows us to strike for 9 damage. He's going to attack for 10. We're going to take 0, and we're going to body slam for 13. The problem is that he's going to keep this strength bonus. So even though he's going to do no damage to us this turn, he's going to do bonus damage next turn and every turn for the rest of combat. So he's about to do 27 damage to us. So we're going to just have to tank that. I could use defend twice, but it would only give me 10 block, and he'd get 4 more strength. So he'd be doing 31 damage. It's either take 27 damage or take 21 damage by using 2 defends. So we're going to bash to make him vulnerable, and then we're going to strike. And hopefully next turn, we'll get the cards to kill him, so he can't do tons of damage to us next turn too. It's not great. It's not great. But he's only going to attack for 15 this turn, and we can defend for 13. It'll give him 4 more strength, so we'll actually do 19. It'll do 6 damage to us, but that's not bad actually, because we can body slam if we activate our defenses as well. So body slam's gonna do 13, 19 damage, and then strike will kill him, and we take no more damage. Pretty good, pretty good. We get 26 gold. The Vajra relic, which gives you 1 strength at the start of each combat, that's awesome. A poison potion, also very good. And we can get a card, a super good card, in fact. So Bloodletting gives you energy, but you sacrifice HP to do it. Anger is kind of a cool card. It's free, it deals 4 damage, and every time you use it, you get a copy of it in your discard pile. So for every anger that you use, 2 angers go into your discard pile, which means you're more likely to draw them and be able to spend 0. That said, Barricade is freaking amazing. Block no longer expires at the start of your turn. So it makes block useful even if the enemy's not attacking. Now we've got 45 health. We can go this way, do 2 fights, and get here. Or here for that matter, campsite. We can get a random encounter and another mini-boss. I don't want to do another mini-boss. We want to go to camp. And we want to smith probably, and lower the cost of Barricade to 2 so that it's easier to use. This is a very, very, very good card. And now we're going to do a fight. Hopefully we'll get some HP back from this fight. We'll see. He's going to attack for 16 damage. That's not the worst thing. We'll defend 3 times, and then we'll body slam and do 16 damage to him. 16 because of our 15 armor and +1 strength. All right, he's gonna do 1 damage to us. That's okay. Taking 1 damage is actually not a bad thing for us because it's gonna lower the cost of blood for blood. You can see it only costs 3 now. This time he's gonna attack for 11 damage. We're gonna barricade, and we're gonna use armaments. And from here on out, we should be able to get a pretty good amount of block going. That'll last from turn to turn. Maybe not, dude. This guy's gonna kick our butts. But we can do a lot of damage to him, and actually this is a good thing. We're gonna go ahead and dual wield blood for blood. We get a copy of it, and that lets us use it twice. And so we brought him to 32, and now you can see he's not attacking. He's got question marks, and that's because he's gonna split into 2 slimes. So each slime will have as much health as he has now, 13 health. So they'll be very easy to kill, and they'll do less damage than him as well, which is nice. All right. Body slam, well, it's not totally useless. It's gonna do 1 damage. One's attacking for 7 and one's attacking for 10. So, oh, I wonder if Body Slam would do 2 damage if something was vulnerable. I don't think it matters. We're gonna Perfected Strike, the one that's gonna do 10 damage to us. We're gonna Body Slam this one for 1 damage, and then we'll do 7 more. We're gonna take 7 damage and get a negative status effect, but it's probably more wounds, which are not a big deal for us right now. This is a crap hand. We can only armament and defend, but we do have barricade, so that armor is gonna last for the next turn, which is pretty good. We can kill this guy super easy now, especially with Body Slam. So Body Slam plus barricade is an incredible combination. It allows us to really stack up a lot of damage and keep our defense high. An explosive potion deals 10 damage to all enemies, but I think what we have here is better. So we're gonna skip that potion, and we're gonna take another Body Slam, I think. Let's get some card drawing. Yeah, all right. So that deals damage and lets you draw a card. We're gonna go here, and we're gonna rest at this camp, because we need to heal up to 61 hit points before we fight this boss. We'll see if we can handle this boss. Bosses are tough in this game as they are in any other roguelike. So let's see what we can do here. He's not gonna attack, so this is a great turn to use Barricade and then defend to get our defense going, and then we can Body Slam for 6 damage. So that's not the worst start, because now we can start stacking up defense every turn, hope to get our Body Slams. But he's gonna do 32 damage, so that super sucks. Let's use armaments. We can get up to 26 defense, which is not bad. But instead we're gonna Pommel Strike, draw some cards, and then let's go ahead and defend twice as well. Yeah, so he's only gonna do 6 damage. I should have drank a potion, man. I should have drank a potion. This is bad plan. The thing about boss fights, though, is that you also only need to have 1 hit point at the end, because you get fully healed after every boss fight. We're gonna use all of our potions, dude. We're gonna hit him with poison, which is real good. So he loses 6 hit points, and then he loses 1 hit point per stack of poison per round, and it goes down 1 every round. We're also gonna throw this regen potion on and start getting health back. Let's upgrade all these cards, defend, and we'll strike here, because we want to keep stacking that defense up, man. Now, he's gonna transform after only 4 more damage, so that'll prevent this attack, which is 7 damage times 7 damage 4 times. So that's 28 damage. Now this is real good. So we're gonna dual wield Body Slam here. So we get 2 free Body Slams this round. We're gonna defend to bring that up to 18 total damage, because we're weakened, so we do a little bit less damage. But we're also gonna Pommel Strike. Yep, there we go. And now he's gonna use a buff, so he's not even gonna attack. So we can actually use this time to deal a goodly amount of damage to him with 2 Body Slams. We get some hit points back because of a regeneration potion. We're vulnerable and we're weakened, and that sucks. But we do have 4 energy this turn, so we can do some good stuff here. We can bring our armor up with armaments and upgrade our bash as well. He's going to do thorns damage, so we want to use high damage cards on him if we can, because he's going to do 3 damage every time we hit him. So to that purpose, we're going to bash, even though it does less damage, because we want to apply stacks of vulnerable. And then Body Slam's going to do lots more damage, and we can get a strike in. Now, he's damaged our armor with his thorns, but he's still doing 13 damage. We've got 17 armor, so we're good. We're good on health. Isn't that exciting? I know I'm excited. Okay, It's the 6th turn, man. This boss is giving us a run for our money. He's going to do 16 damage to us, but he's going to transform at some point back to his whatever. So we definitely want to dual wield body slam. No, actually, this isn't worth it. But it costs 0, so that's why I'm doing it. And we're gonna want to defend to enable body slam a little bit more, but he's gonna hit us hard. I'm gonna be okay with that, because we've done a lot of damage and he's nearly dead. So our armor's gone. That sucks, but it's all right. He'll do 16 damage to us and then change forms back. And he's gonna do 20 damage now. We can stop 21 damage, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. All right, we're coming out ahead of the curve here because 21 armor, he does 20, but we get to keep that 1 armor. So, and we did a little damage to him as well through the poison, of course. Now he's gonna buff. So we're gonna defend to enable body slam here. We're gonna pommel strike to deal damage and get a card. This was great. This was a perfect opportunity for that. We're gonna kill him this round with perfected strike, a body slam, and blood for blood, and a body slam. Yeah, all right. So that's gonna be the end of this first level. We get a bunch of gold and we can add a card, and we're gonna get rare cards from bosses like this. Rare cards that have these gold banners on them. So these are cool cards with interesting effects. So Berserk, if our hit points are at 50% or lower, 50% or lower, then you get an extra energy each turn. I have a real hard time enabling this card, so I'm not going to take it. Feed is really cool. It deals damage. If it kills an enemy that's not a minion, some bosses summon minions, then you get 3 permanent max hit points. Then it's exhausted. So you can only use it once per combat, but you can get bonus hit points. Or Fiend Fire. You exhaust your whole hand, you deal 7 damage for each exhausted card, and then you exhaust this card. I don't love any of these, honestly. But we're gonna go with Feed, because it does give us a chance to do some cool stuff. Now, we get to choose one of 3 relics. We can get 3 curses and 3 relics. Not good, because we can't get rid of curses. Well, we could get rid of them with the Peace Pipe. The Philosopher's Stone, you gain an extra energy every turn, but all enemies start with 2 strength. That's really, I don't like that. Or the Black Star, elites now drop 2 relics when you defeat them. So we're gonna take the Black Star, and hope we can use that effectively. We've made it to Act 2, the City, and we're gonna continue this next time on Slay the Spire. So thank you so much for joining me. You know I appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, leave a comment below as to why you like it. Tell me what you think of this game. Tell me how bad I am and what I should be doing better. And I'll see you later. I'll see you around. I will see you next time. I can't wait to play more Slay the Spire, and I can't wait to do it with you. Have a great day. Bye.